It's at Rye Marina.
Oh, you have one?
Thank
There's
you.
one?
Milton Road.
Thank you. I appreciate that. He's a big drinker. Don't
That's
say
good,
that.
though.
Out of context, that doesn't sound quite right.
Goldie, would you lead us in the pledge this evening?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Hey, Terry, how you doing?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much, Goldie. All right. Okay, well, I think we have a typical summer meeting this evening. It's relatively, hopefully, event-free, and so we'll be able to get right into it. So, can I get a motion to bring the meeting to order?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Nowotny, would you take the roll?
Wright Town Park Commission meeting, July 16th. Commissioner Brett,
Present.
Commissioner Salanitro,
Present.
Commissioner Pagano,
Yes.
Commissioner French,
Here.
Commissioner Carvin.
Yes.
Okay.
And I know Mayor Rosenberg sends his regrets. He has some health issues, and so he couldn't make it this evening. So he gave us plenty of notice. So, and can I get approval for the minutes of the April 15th meeting, or any comments, questions on the meeting minutes from April 15th?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
I get a second?
Second.
Was everybody there? I think everybody was at that meeting. Can I get a motion to, everybody in favor?
Just the mayor from Portchester cannot vote on that.
No, you can't vote no. Okay,
All
so
right.
just take the roll, please, Mr. Nowotny.
Actually, that may not be true.
Oh, really?
All right.
Okay. Sure, Commissioner Brett,
Yes.
Commissioner Salanitro,
Yes.
Commissioner Pagano,
Yes.
Commissioner French,
Yes.
Commissioner Carvin.
Yes, and the minutes from the June 18th meeting. Can I get a motion? Any questions, comments? If not, can I get a motion to approve those?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right.
Okay. Commissioner Brett?
We're all there?
Yes.
Salanitro,
Yes.
Commissioner Pagano,
Yes.
Commissioner French,
Yes.
Commissioner Carvin.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Goldie, it's your turn.
Thank you. You knew it. Okay. Well, Neil is here, thank God. He's our new mayor, and he's incredible. He does things that nobody else has ever done. He's good.
I'd like to echo
He
those comments if I
represents the
could.
people, you know? It's very important
Thank you.
that he does that. But I want to tell you, Oakland Beach is incredible. I go to all the concerts that I can go to except tonight because I would rather be here than to be there. And I go as a volunteer. I hand out all programs that Bill gives me to all of the people I represent. I see them and everything else. I love going there. However, I was told when I first came that my park ticket was too old and that I needed a new one. I said, oh no, I like that one. It's historic. I like it, and most people know me, and they know that I should come. But I don't know why I need a new one, because they're not there when I can go. I can only go on Tuesdays for the concerts. I can't go any other day because I have so much on my calendar. But the concerts are incredible. Underneath the pavilion, kids come, parents come with children. They dance, they this, they that. It's wonderful. It's incredible. And we need more of them. We do need
Well,
more.
you know we've increased, Goldie, at your request.
I know.
How much we're up to now?
We need more concerts. We
You're
really do.
You're going to
But I-
bankrupt the town in Rye City if we keep going.
But I also want you to know one thing. I'm not happy. You got a sign out there that says no dogs allowed. But people keep bringing in their dogs, and some of them are leashed, some of them are not, and they have to leash them when they're told, you know, get them on a leash, get them out. But I don't go on the beach. I never go on the beach. I always come for events that are under the pavilions. I love it, and I'm a historian, and it is a historic place. It's historic. And what can I tell you? That's pretty much why I go. I love history. And you are a historic place, and you have historical things. I mean, and Oakland Beach is one of them. Let's have more concerts, please. Billy is not here because he has to. We have a concert tonight at 7:30, but the band usually comes at 6:30, 7 o'clock. They have to be greeted, and I guess that's what he's doing tonight. And when he sees I'm not there, I don't know, I guess he'll have to give out the programs that are there. But please, more concerts.
Thank you so
We
much.
need that in Rye.
Yep, absolutely.
Rye
Yep.
is great, and we're blessed that you can do this.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Goldie. Any other questions, comments from the public? Okay, then I guess with that, we'll move on to the reports. Oh, no, there's no, I think the capital committee couldn't make it this evening at the end of the day, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. So we'll look for the operational report, Mr. Joffrey.
On the capital committee, though, do we want to extend the date for the RFPs? When
That's
is
a good question.
the deadline?
My understanding is that they already extended the date
Well, we did.
We
We did.
Right.
to August 15th.
It
if
was
I
August
recall.
15th, okay.
I just don't think that there is enough traction there from everything I'm hearing. I'm not part of the capital committee, so I don't know. But,
Well, we're not getting any traction here, though. I think the thing is, Fred, we're going to be probably a minute discussing this
Yeah.
for 2 seconds. I think. But so the capital committee hasn't been able to generate any interest, nor have we, is what I'm understanding.
as of right now, that's what I understand, yes.
But they were going to speak with the two planning consultants, right?
Yeah, to my knowledge, I don't
Right,
know if they did.
I talked to Dan. Talked to
Right,
Dan.
oh, okay.
And, yeah, he's reached out. They're rebidding on the planning consulting side. I just wasn't sure if we had extended the date to the 31st of July or August 15th. If it's August 15th, then I
August
think
15th.
then we've got plenty of room for them to come back and report back to us.
Right.
Well, when's our next meeting, actually? By the way, I won't be here at the next meeting, but that's
Well, the
neither here
next
nor there.
meeting, I think, is August 20th, is the Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
So if we haven't received any response by then, we can always extend it.
Right.
Is that right? So-
We have to
Yeah,
give some
I
time.
think,
We haven't even hired the planning consultant yet, so
No,
they need
they-
some time to solicit
right.
bids. So we just may want to extend it anyway.
I'm
Well, that's what I'm
thinking we
wondering,
do
yeah,
want to extend it
yeah.
anyway, especially since even
Yeah.
if it is extended to August 15th, their next meeting's after August 15th.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
I mean, why don't we go, do you want to say August 1st, October 1st, October 1st is a Tuesday, September 30th is a Monday. I think at a minimum, we should extend it till then.
Yep.
We talked about getting together with the capital committee and trying to promote this, so once the planning group is identified, we should do that as soon as possible. And I think if the board, sounds like it's an agreement, should we go to September 30th?
Well, we should hear back from them. I mean, I don't want to speak on their behalf without having heard whether they need to extend it or not. You think it's important that we do?
There's,
I think there's no hope.
I don't think.
Yeah, there's no hope if we keep it August
Okay.
15th.
All right,
Yeah.
okay. I was holding out on hope.
Because they're going to have to come back to us, and we're going to have to authorize hiring of the firm. They're negotiating bids that will come in.
Well, if you're talking planners,
Yes.
we already have 4 or 5 planning bids,
Correct.
which they have been reviewing and interviewing the
Right.
candidates and so forth. To my knowledge, there's been no decision in terms of coming before the commission and
We authorize
requesting
up to
approval.
$20,000, and then
Correct.
these firms will rebid, and then we would have to authorize which one.
They may be reducing the scope
Correct.
of the planning
Yeah.
work to try and get into that $20,000
So we will do
range.
that at our August 20th meeting.
August, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll come back to us and they'll say, all right, we've talked to the planning consultants. These are the 1 or 2 that are interested. Here's our recommendation. This body would make that would authorize it. And then we need some lead time. So October 1st.
Actually, do you want to go to the end of October?
Maybe.
I mean, at least the end of October, if we're going to be serious-minded about it, right? If
Yeah.
we're not going to get the planning
can-
group in till,
Make
we're
it
going to
Friday,
do middle
November 1.
November if you want, I mean.
Well, your meeting date, your scheduled meeting date is November 19th. If you wanted to,
Yeah,
I
so
would
November 15th, perfect,
It's
it's
a
a Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
that would be a little too tight because I don't think they would have enough time to evaluate the proposals that come in, if any proposals come in. I mean, I don't think you're going to have any serious dialogue ready on the 19th.
That's fine, yeah, maybe give them a week to evaluate this, I don't think that's a problem. So, fine, no, that's a good suggestion,
The
Mr. Nwadnik, November 8th?
November 8th is at least you got 10 days in there so that the committee can, kind of
Wonderful.
churn through some of that stuff.
Terrific, thank you, Mayor French. So if you could, Mr. Nwadnik, coordinate with the capital committee, let
Okay.
them know that we want to meet with, we'll have a recommendation as to who they want to work with after these have been rebid,
Right?
with a decision to be made on August 20th, and we're going to, right now, extend the deadline for submission of proposals to November 8th, if the board
Okay.
is agreement. So can I get a motion to extend the time frame in which interested parties can submit their bids till November 8th, Friday, November 8th?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Nwadnik, could you call the roll?
Brett? Hold on.
You okay with that, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just didn't know if they had
Commissioner
any
Brett?
real
Yes.
concern.
Commissioner Salanitro?
Yes.
Commissioner Pagano?
Yes.
Commissioner French?
Yes.
Commissioner Carmen?
Despite the
Okay.
absence of the fact that we haven't heard anything more, so.
Just while the date of the next meeting came up, let's make sure to talk about that later, because I'm going to be out of town on the 20th as
As well.
well. So
Oh,
we
good.
should make sure that we have a quorum.
Yes.
That's good, let's do that right now then. Let's do it. Hopefully you guys somewhere nice as well.
California.
Should we make, well, okay, let's talk about that. Do you want to go ahead and have the meeting on the 20th, or should we, I'll be back, I think, the following week, the 27th.
I'll be back on the 27th also.
Do we want to push the next meeting to the 27th
I won't be here.
to ensure a quorum? Or you, what's your,
Commissioner
I won't be
Salanitro
here.
you won't be here the 27th. How about the 20th? Are you here the 20th?
Yep.
Are you here the
Yes.
20th, Mr. French? Mayor French?
Yeah.
And Commissioner Salanitro? Why don't we keep the 20th then?
Okay. Then keep-
28th?
Yeah.
Keep the 20th, no change, no
So we're
change.
going to keep the 20th,
Yeah.
and we're looking at only 2 absentees?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, yeah.
At the
Known
moment.
absentees?
No, both absentee.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right,
Okay.
terrific.
So we'll need
We need Mayor Rosenberg, right?
Yeah.
by then, yeah.
Okay.
The right now, they're still on this
I
building?
assume we're back to,
Touche, Commissioner Salanitro.
we're back to Park Director
Hopefully not.
Joffrey?
Okay, sorry, Park Director Joffrey.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to, I think there were some concerns that came up over the course of the weekend that were shared and with the commission members. And I don't know if you want to share them with, and I know you've answered some of these in an email earlier today, but I wanted to share them with you, Mr. Joffrey, and just sort of, these are the questions and queries that come into the commission, and I wanted to make sure that we're addressing them. So basically, there were a number of complaints, concerns that were raised over the course of the July 4th weekend. One was that the bathrooms at the north end of the park were not working during busy holiday weekend. No, let me just go through them.
Go ahead.
Large garbage piles on the beach on morning of Monday, July 8th, where, yes, Plainland was clear. The parking barriers were permanently removed beyond prior limits. There's a question that was raised, and a second entrance to the parking lot was closed, and I think staff cited equipment problems creating traffic on Forest and Dearborn. Neighborhood traffic as well as safety risk became problematic. So these are, I know we had a very busy weekend and many fronts successful on July 4th weekend, but in your remarks, if you could just address those concerns as well.
Do you want me to read them or just off the top of my head?
Why don't you get start off the top of your head, and then if we need more.
Well, first of all, let me mention
I know
that
we've been having a problem with the north bathrooms. Maybe you could start with that one. The bathrooms at the north end.
the north bathrooms, as we examined the whole situation, neighbors on what is it, Oakland Beach Avenue? What is that, Rye
That would be Rye Beach.
Beach Avenue, tell us that their pressure is low. On the 4th of July, we had a problem where our pressure was very low, and we had extreme usage. So what I did is I sent two maintenance guys and a supervisor up that end, and we were force flushing the bathrooms by pouring buckets of water into the bowl, and cleaning them constantly throughout the whole afternoon. I was able to keep them open until about 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, there was no pressure at all, so I shut them down. I had mentioned it to you, Joe.
Yep.
Shut them down, put signs saying that they had to use our main bathrooms because we were having problems there. So the first thing we did the following day is we got plumbers in there. Plumbers came in and blew out all the lines. We were told by neighbors there that their pressure's low. Playland had a major problem with pressure on the 4th of July also. Now, we called City of Rye. They came right away. They told us that our pressure is normal now. And then we called the waterworks, which didn't get back to us till today when I was answering the emails. And they said that they just gave us a courtesy call and they'll get back to us. We had called Playland and they said that the water company was giving them the runaround. So we blew the lines out. We got it back to pretty much normal. Don't forget that was a very high usage day. And as a backup, I ordered 3 porta-sands, which I have placed in front of the north bathrooms in case we have a problem. They'll be there for a month, and we'll get through July with those if we need them. So that's that problem. Then we go on to the second question, which was garbage on the beach, July 8th. Well, July 7th, we cleaned the beach 3 times during the day. What happens now that when our prices go low at 4 o'clock and then go to nothing at 7 o'clock, we're getting a night attendance, heavy, sometimes heavier than during the day. So our guys are off at 4 and 5 o'clock, our maintenance guys, so they can't get to it. Let me just raise this thing. Playland closes their beach at 6. No one's allowed on it. They have a chance to clean it. We can't clean them till the next morning. On the morning in question, Portchester had picked up the big dumpsters, so we got 1 load in. We ended up having to do 9 loads of garbage, so we had to wait for them to bring the dumpsters back, and then we finished cleaning the beach. We rake the beach every single morning, rain or shine. We hand-pick the park to the point where, you know, our parking kids, if they're not doing parking, we have them going out into the park, scooping up bottles and whatever. I get numerous responses saying the parks never look so clean, yada, yada, yada. So there's times when we run into things like that. The third was the parking barriers. They're at the same place they were for the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, whatever it is. Bishop?
What? Yeah, the parking barriers are
Is it 3 years they've been that way?
at least 3 years.
Yeah. So they haven't changed. Now, to the problem with, on the day with the backup, one of our computers went down.
That's not true. That 4th of July, we didn't have problems with the computer. It was the weekend.
No, I'm not talking about 4th of July. I'm talking about the day that you had to go out there and we shut down one side. Then there was a temporary backup up Dearborn. We sent 3 security guys out there to monitor traffic. Now,
So there was a computer glitch, is that what happened?
well, the computer went down. Terry went out there and she was trying to fix it, but we still had one up.
Right.
So, ever since Officer Flick came here so many years ago about the entrance and exit emergency,
2010, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I have posted a security guy there whenever traffic gets heavy. I go out there on Monday nights when we get 300 cars for volleyball to make sure nobody gets in between those 2 posts. So if there's an emergency, we have the whole, you know, we can handle an emergency and they'll be able to get in and out. Just by our security guys going out there and making a path for them to go through and then back through. So ever since then, we've done that. So that's an extra security guy I got to put there to monitor that. And anyway, on the 4th of July, we shut down twice. Your my report in there says
Well,
once.
so just in terms of the question, I think that, the last question was, the second entrance
Yeah, we had
was closed, and the reason it was closed is because there was a computer failure.
went down.
Okay, and then,
We did open it, and we were working off of one computer, because we knew there was a backup, and we needed to get rid of it.
right.
So at that point, we were working with our computer guy, couldn't get it back up. We opened the second side, and we worked out of one computer.
And so there was a short time that there was a backup on Dearborn.
How long was the computer down? Has that?
I don't know, Terry, how long was it down for?
It had been going up and down all day, and I was out there for 6 hours.
Okay. Is it fixed now?
Yeah.
Do you know why? Do you know what the cause of the problem was?
Yeah, we think that, we have a problem with the Wi-Fi, and that's what was doing it that day. That, and, it was just doing things that both me and Mike never saw before in our life. We got it up, then what would happen is that one would come back, the other one would go down, then this one would come back, so it was flip-flopping all day. But we put a new computer in parking since then, on the regular side, not the other side, and it's been working fine. And we put another one in the middle too.
So the new computer seemed to solve the problem?
So far.
It handles more information
Yeah.
Okay.
quicker. And then I went out.
These are new, more modern computers, more,
It's just basically a new hard drive.
A little faster.
A little faster.
Expansion.
These are the ones that we just bought?
Yes,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
two new machines we bought.
Okay.
And in reference to Commissioner Salanitro's comments at the last meeting, I went out, spoke with our IT guy and with the fella that put in our visual cameras. And he came here, the two of them conferred, and he gave us an elaborate hardwire estimate of $4,200. And that would be to hardwire parking, south, and middle, not north. So that's the price to hardwire, and then we just need a green light if we're going to hardwire. We have been working okay, but then when we get to the credit cards, which Terry will give you an update on, we can't have a breakdown because where we broke down in the permit office, we were able to get addresses, and Terry would look up the phone numbers, and we'd call them and tell them, listen, your card didn't go through, come down and we'll fix it. But if we go down in the booths, all we're going to get are the last four numbers of a credit card. And that's the big fear. But she does have an update on credit cards.
Before we get there, though, let's finish out the complaints that came in.
I think that was
it.
That was the end, yeah.
And I didn't see those.
I don't either. I didn't
Those
see
go
the
to you,
complaints
Joe?
either.
Yeah, they just came to me, and so
I
I
can-
shared them with Fred ahead of today's meeting. Sorry, I apologize. I knew we were going to talk about tonight. I'm sorry. I didn't.
No. I just got, first of all, we appreciate the feedback. All comments are good comments. But let me
Well,
just,
actually, one more comment. One more comment I wanted to bring up also, and I think this is probably a job the commission can do better. And there was a concern on July 4th that we were parking beyond the barrier. There's another concern that came up. And I think what we've agreed is that employees on that day, about 25, 30 cars, can park beyond that barrier. We can reconsider that view if we want, but that's the decision that had previously made in the park staff adhered to this year. Now, I don't think we did a good job, this board, in informing the public, so people, I think, fair-minded people came up and said, what's going on? And I think that the strategy we took, and I think it ultimately worked, was to wait through the weekend. They'd see it was a one-off event, and then I think, as I understand it, things have settled down. And
Well, there was an apology made
there was. Well,
to Terry.
Good.
There was an overreaction there, in my opinion. And anyway,
Just in terms of
I just followed your direction on
right.
it.
So in terms of there's two things. One, I'm glad to hear there was an apology.
It was an email.
And I think that but in terms of what we can do better here on the commission board is we probably should make it clear to the public, particularly those that live closest to the park, and concern that on the 4th of July, we have a one-off exception. So I think it'll be no next year in any case. And I want to thank, well, I want to talk about the staff in general, but those are the 5 complaints that I had. I wanted to clear the air and get and let the people at home understand, how hard the staff's working. Sorry, Mayor.
Could I just do this one short little paragraph I had in there? Let me premise.
Well, I want to give you a chance to. I want to get the complaints out first, then I want to talk about the successes. But I like to get.
Oh, okay.
See, I started in college, Fred, and when freshman year, I started with a 2.5 grade point average.
Yeah.
And decided I was going to work my way up. So my parents, were paying a lot of money for my tuition. By the time I got sophomore year, it was 3.25, and so I want to start with and then I want to get to the. So, pardon me, my French, if you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the comments and keep them coming, but. This series of 4 or 5 complaints we just heard, those were normal occurrences every weekend, all the time at Rytown Park, 4 years ago. We always had backups on Forest Avenue. We always had people driving around the park and all the complaints. And frankly, July 4th was a day where Rice City would just shut down and let the rest of the world come in and dictate kind of the environment. And the staff and the RIPD did an excellent job. I mean, we had very, very few complaints. So the fact that we're debating or discussing these 4 or 5 things in context is a credit to the staff, how far we've come. We used to have cars driving around the park all the time. We would have backups and all kinds of things. And so the staff response to those 4 or 5 items quickly, and your statements, really credit to you and the staff, because you guys did a great job.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So why don't you talk a little bit about some of the other sides?
I was just going to, one 4 sentences, which I prefaced before I answered the question was, let me premise this email by stating that we had a very, very busy 4-day weekend. There were 3 nights of fireworks, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We moved over 6,000 cars and 12,000 patrons through our park in a 4-day period without any incidents. This includes about 2,000 plus people on the beach on July 4th and approximately 500 plus in the park. And then as the fireworks approach, another 500, 600 people. Many of our employees work 12 to 14 hours each day. I'm very proud of the hard work they did over this difficult 4-day period. I use that as a preface just to give an idea of the... I mean, it's not Shea Stadium or Yankee Stadium, but that's a day when all employees are on deck at their best. Now, I'm telling you, the senior staff, Terry and I, and Larry and Sal, we must put in 50, 60 hours in 4 days each.
Right.
So, yeah, a couple of things could get away from us. We try very hard not to have that happen. But I don't mind, believe me, I don't take anything personal, Laura, or whoever. I just try to make it better as I hear about it. And then once I hear about it, I try not to let it happen again, best I could.
Thank you.
Just, may I?
Please.
I really appreciate your responsiveness on this, I really do, and I hope you take no offense to passing along the comments, because, when you sit in any of our seats, we do tend to field the comments from our residents of our respective towns.
I was a councilman once.
So you get it. So I hope you don't mind me passing them along, and I meant no criticism, and I do appreciate that there was an onslaught of people that weekend, and there was a huge crowds who wanted to come to Rytown Park, and I think that is a credit to the work that the commission and the park staff have done over the last few years to make it a really appealing place to spend the 4th of July. So I don't mean to take away anything that you've done in the past. I just wanted to make sure that I gave you the ability to respond to those
Yes,
concerns
thank you.
that people raised.
And then Joe demanded no.
Well,
I didn't mean to give you away, Joe.
And honestly, the safety concerns that were raised when the second computer went down, I think there was a safety vehicle that was trying to enter the park when the computer went down, which is just bad luck. Nobody can plan for that. But it does speak to the...
It really didn't go on to Forest. I was out there. I was out there from 9 o'clock till 2:30. Never did it go to Forest.
Well, that's great to hear. Because
it backed up further than it normally does when we open the second side. But as soon as we saw it, we were like, let's go for it, and I was out there doing it.
Now, we have a whole procedure. There's a protocol. When the cars get halfway up Dearborn, our security chief makes sure that the third gate the chain is down so that cars can exit. 2 of ours come in, 1 person stationed in front of the booth directing traffic into the both entrances, 1 down in the circle. So there's a protocol that we go through. And when we shut down, same thing. We have all of our barriers and our signs up on the top of the avenue. When we shut down twice on the 4th of July, once for about an hour and the second time we were shut down, we have no control of Forest Avenue because that's Rye PD, and they make that known to us. So all we do is put a barrier up there with a sign saying park full, playland, with an arrow pointing to playland, and then Rye PD directs traffic up there.
And I will tell you that on the 4th of July at 6 o'clock, because we were getting such an influx of cars, I mean, we still had room. Rye PD told us, look, you guys need a break. Shut it down, close down, well, let's regroup and open up, back up in an hour.
Right.
And that's what we did. You know, and it was, they were like...
They were incredible. They were really...
They were like, just, you know, we're up there, we'll direct traffic, because they were on site the whole time. And it really worked out well, you know, for us to sit down, regroup, go count how many cars we could let in.
Let 20 cars, let 40 cars.
Playland, I was in touch with Playland all day, and they were telling me what they were doing. They knew what we were doing. It's around 7:15, they started to close down, and they asked me how many cars we could have, and I told them 100, and they sent over 100 cars.
What time was that?
It was about 7:15.
At night?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was in and out looking around, and there were spots.
And then we closed at 7:45, and that was it.
That was it, yeah.
We couldn't reopen.
Okay.
You know, so, I mean, the coordination between us and Playland has gotten incredible. You know,
Well, now that they've come up to snuff?
Well, we have a meeting. Well, yeah, we have a meeting with them prior to the 4th of
As a matter of
July.
fact, next year, they told me that they're giving me one of their park radios.
All parties,
Cell phone.
It's a good idea.
all parties involved meet with them once or twice, including the county police, Rye Police, our security, our management, and we go over all the possibilities. So we were pretty. I'm telling you, it was like a. You know, when a good plan comes together, you know, it's a good feeling.
Well, listen, I want to just say I'm glad to hear that there was seamless coordination with Rye Police and the park staff. I know we've been working hard, and I want to thank Mayor French and Councilwoman Brett for contributing to that, because I know we worked hard to make that happen.
That's really the mayor's doing.
We'll give the
Take all
mayor
the credit, yeah.
You're just getting better, man. I can't believe you're not running again.
Well,
If they make 2-year terms.
We might have a draft.
we have a special camera, the Doug French camera, that follows them around the park.
And then secondly, I want to thank the park staff. I mean, to have 12,000 people come in and out of the park without incident on in this kind of weather, 95-degree weather, is an extraordinary feat. And I really think you're right. I think it's a culmination of 4, 5, 6 years working together.
It's a team.
Pulling the whole thing together. And so I can't thank you enough for your hard work. We were in constant contact throughout the weekend on nightly calls, and it's just absolutely fantastic job. I think we actually raised, and then I think the other thing the staff was, the other thing I just want to say on behalf of the staff, we've so sensitized them to, getting this to a situation where we're keeping cost controls in place and raising money. So we need those 25 cars. We want those 25 cars on July.
Yeah, but those
So I want to thank the staff.
Those shock sticks you use, they work.
I want to thank the staff for all the hard work in a situation of difficult under duress, and for the 60 hours of time put in over the course of 4 or 5 days. And I know this commission is fully supportive of all the hard work you did. So job well done, and thank you for all your hard work. And thank you for the timely response as well on the complaints. Look, complaints only make us better, and I think it's important the public knows. You and I have known we had a problem with those northern bathrooms for a while.
Yeah.
And by the way, have we solved that problem?
They finally got back to us today. We're hoping that the water company can give us some direction on whether there's a crushed pipe somewhere.
Okay.
We don't have that answer yet.
Okay.
All of our plumbers, they blew it out. They said there's no leakage. We even shut down a line for the showers there that just ran, and people would just let it run,
Right.
and that would drain. So we capped it.
Okay.
So we could have more pressure.
And then what about after 7, what you said, you have a surge of people after 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
On fireworks nights?
That's when, on every night. That's when the beach is free, there's a surge of people. If you go down there now, you'll see.
And is that...
They wait.
Well, see, that's when you're shutting down your cashiers on the beach, and the beach becomes free. All right? There's 2 hours of sunlight still.
Well, look, I think, I have to say, I remember, I think it was John Ambrose that was here, and, it does pain me a little when I walk in the park and see people, not going on the beach. Probably like to, but can't afford the extra $10. So I don't think we want to reverse the policy of letting people enjoy those last 2 hours on the beach while we might make an extra nickel here or there. I think that Mayor Pagano, I'm confident that we can let these people get on the beach for 7 nights, at least a couple hours of.
Sounds good, Joe.
There's two things. We don't get paid overtime. We're salaried, just so you know. But on the other side of that, I have the security guys. Where we see people going over their heads in the water, we whistle them in.
Okay.
So we try to keep that as safe as we could.
All right. Excellent. Well, listen, thanks very much again for all your hard work.
Okay.
I think you have an outstanding item. Fred, by the way, congratulations. You guys did a great job. Really passed that along on my behalf as well. You have that $4,200 proposal
Yep.
for the hard wiring. We should probably talk about that.
Let's talk about that now. Yep, good.
Okay, it's in your packet.
And there's a breakdown of what.
Yeah, why don't you stay and talk about that now? We might as well pick it up right now.
Well, the breakdown is there, and Benny, you had Commissioner Salanitro, you had a question about whether there were other expenses attached to it.
Yeah, because a lot of this was RF work, with Cat 6 wire, Cat 5 wire, whatever he mentioned, and I was curious
Cat
about
6
any
wire,
electrical wiring that needed to be done.
Cat 6 wire is supposed to be better wire.
No, I know, but is there anything, my question was, do we need any electrical services
No.
to get this running with the hubs that
No.
were okay?
No.
So there's no other cost?
No
to get
other
this
cost besides that.
Because they're going to go through the camera.
They're going to use the...
Camera wire.
Okay. 'Cause I know there was a discussion that we needed to bring some hard wiring, and I always thought that hard wiring discussion was about electrical hard wiring, but I must have been wrong.
Because we're going to use the
Okay.
gun for the cameras,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
the wires are already there.
And this will solve the problems,
All, pretty much,
even with the credit card problems or any of that?
with any future credit card
I
problem.
mean,
That's our hope.
the permit office is hardwired, and we don't have a problem in there at
Okay.
all.
With credit
You know,
cards.
I will
Right.
tell you that, my feeling some of the times when these computers go crazy, do you know how hot it gets in those booths, even though we have AC? I will tell you, our new card printer for the permits, it was so humid in the permit office that it actually,
They were sticking together.
the cards were sticking together, and every time a card went through, it broke a ribbon.
Yeah.
So Mike had to take the computer, he put it in his air-conditioned house, and the next day we're fine.
So I put air conditioning in the permit unit.
Yeah. It's tough, it's tough to work under those conditions.
Most of our problems are those.
So this should solve the problem,
It
or?
should, yeah.
When we came there, Joe, when we came there was no air conditioning in any of the booths for the cashiers. They would die. 105 degrees in our booth. And before I even got an air conditioner, I made sure that the cashiers all got air conditioners.
Thank you.
And paper was sticking to my...
But remember, the windows are open. So, even though,
Right.
and the door and parking is open.
Right.
So even though there's AC, it's still hot.
So, I was at the Genius Bar this weekend for Apple, and they said the same thing. It's a lot of these problems are weather-related with the heat and humidity. So the hard wiring will prevent that then?
Sounds like
The hardwire is not going to prevent the heat and humidity. What the hardwire is going to do is
Improve
stop
performance.
the offline.
Right.
Yeah,
Eliminates the Wi-Fi problem.
Right.
better connectivity.
So it should be performed better then?
Right.
Exactly.
Now, there is one thing that the commissioners should understand, and that is the north booth is not included in this
Right.
because we don't have underground wiring that we can access to the north booth. That's going to be a much more expensive hard wiring fix when we get to it.
Are we going to get to it?
Well,
Friday, Saturday.
We're going to see. I mean,
I'd like to see a proposal.
I would recommend the 4,200 because the 4,200 dollar for dollar is a very simple, straightforward fix.
Right.
we're going to get prices, I think, on
He's supposed to give me a
hardwire
price
the
on the
north booth.
fourth one.
And once those prices hit the desk, at that point, the commissioners can review it.
Is this above ground wire, Bishop, Fred, or are we talking about buried wire, buried cable?
Yeah, no, they're above wire. They're above
ground,
right?
Yeah, they're going to string it, right?
No, the 4,200, all of those are below ground, aren't they?
I think they're above ground, because I see the wire, going over our parking lot. I could be wrong.
I think that's your phone, phone wire.
It's not my expertise.
That's your Verizon wire.
That's probably the Verizon wire, so I don't know. I can't answer that, Neil. But all I know is that the fella that put in our security cameras did a great job, and our IT guy says that he's the one that can do this, meaning our camera guy, that he couldn't do that. So that's why the two of them conferred. One told the other what we need, the other one discussed it with him and gave us an estimate, which you should have in your packet.
Perfect. Okay, can I get a motion to approve this expenditure for $4,200 to hardwire and solve our computer
In
problems?
accordance with our
That'll
procurement
be
policies?
to come out of capital.
What's that?
Is this in accordance with our procurement policy?
This can be very easily, because we're talking about a specific vendor. We're using the vendor that already has the existing responsibility for the security cameras. And
Sole
I know
source?
you would it's sole source basically, because we don't want to have the security cameras now start to malfunction because somebody else has fiddled with them. The wiring that he's using, to give you an example, he's sacrificing the existing camera wire, and he will then pull the new wires plus a new camera wire through the piping with the existing camera wire. That's the concept, and that's what makes this thing a rational project.
So it's going through conduit?
It's going through conduit, is correct.
Okay.
All right, I think I would recommend it's worth the money, and we're 4/5 or whatever home on all of our computers, with the North Beach being the only one that's an outlier.
Great. Can I get a motion to approve the expenditure of $4,200?
So,
Second?
Mr. Salanitro.
Okay, could you call a roll, please, Mr.
Who's second? I'm sorry.
Me.
Okay.
Commissioner Brett. Commissioner
Okay.
Brett.
All right. Commissioner Brett?
Yes.
Commissioner Salanitro?
yes.
Commissioner Pagano?
Yes.
Commissioner French?
Yes.
Commissioner Carvin?
Yes.
Okay. That's going to be a
All
beautiful.
right. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Mr. Joffrey. Thank you, Terry. Sure.
Do you want town meeting tonight?
At 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock tonight, right, Bishop?
Yes, 8 o'clock.
I've been working with Mike, trying to see how we could get the credit card process to get going. And today we actually tested it in Middle. And for right now, parking and Middle are almost ready to accept credit cards. What we need to do is, he's going to do a Microsoft update. We need to do the update to be able to get more buttons, because right now our program only has X number of buttons. And with this upgrade, it's going to give us the capability of having 20 touch buttons, which we could separate cash from credit card. Otherwise, the process, right now, the way the process works is you come to the beach, you come in parking, you're a resident, we hit resident, it rings up the $8 or $9, and it produces a receipt. What we'd have to do is press that button, another screen would have to come up and say, is it cash or credit? Put it in, then, do the process of cash and credit.
It's similar to the MTA when you get your monthly pass, when you buy a train pass. That's the second screen that comes up.
Right, but
Debit,
what
cash,
we're going to
credit.
do is by doing the Microsoft update, by
Right.
expanding the buttons, we're going to have a cash and credit card. So it will eliminate the second step. You just press credit card, it'll ask for the credit card, you swipe it, and it prints a receipt for the customer, a receipt for us. We're not going to use signatures. It's only $8 and $9, $15, so we're not going to use signatures. I'm looking to have it up and running by Monday.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
That's great.
In 2 booths. We're going to do a test with Middle and parking. Those are their 2 busiest anyway.
Yeah.
So starting Monday, we will take credit cards out.
Should we put signs telling people that there are credit cards accepted?
We will. What I'd like to do first is test it.
No, I know. This is what we're going to do too, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Maybe get the people there.
obviously, if someone comes and says, do you take credit cards, the answer will be yes.
Right.
At the Middle Beach.
At Middle Beach and at Parkin.
Yeah, that's
Because
good.
those are the places